All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 of JZ and Rain here. We're looking at the Chinese champion, that's JZ, and Rain here in the green on the north side of Land of Fire. Zath, what's Rain packing here for Game 2?
Well, Raptor, Rain is bringing two battleships that we've seen so far today. We've got a Sniper Spec Ohio and a Burgon. Now, the Burgon is a basically a heal spec plus a little bit of damage brought in. And in front of them, we've got a Brizzy, that's Lulu Snail in his torpedo spec, even with Pyrotechnician.
I saw that.
As a commander skill. Interesting. Two Claybears in front. We've got Arturius with basically a gun build. Claybear, Gangbang also in a gun build, so they're not interested in unique upgrade. Behind them is Basty's Gearing, once again with that Dazzle we were talking about. That's the same build as last game. And Des Moines behind him with unique upgrade. Going to the middle of the map is Hexagon's Ragnar gun build. And then finally, Napoli, Real Ship Shady, off on his own with range and pretty much just, I'm by myself skills.
All by myself. He's going to be lonely over there to see how it goes.
He will, and if you keep singing, you might be too. But anyway, tell us if you would about the JZ lineup, sir.
All right, let's have a look at what JZ is going to be sending over to sea. They've got Fantongs, Ohio, Brisk in concealment and fire prevention, and artillery plotting in slot 6, not surprising. A Napoli of their own, that's Yeqiu, going for RPF, and it looks like top-grade gunner to go with his concealment and reload in slot 6. Wanji's Claybear, this is a unique/legendary Claybear there. Going full concealment, so he's fairly stealthy. He ought to be able to pick up Ship Shady here in a moment. That'll probably draw some Ohio fire. Naomi's Des Moines going to play mid here. Very close in on the B cap, backed up by Pulo's Stalingrad. This is a much more traditional Stalingrad position, running range and RPF. Yuhua's Daring, working the gap at the moment in between A and B. You see there the early Stalin radar going up, catching Hexagon at the top of B. And then the way...
about to get Basty's Gearing. There it is right there.
Yep, they can see finally Basty's Gearing getting smoking Madara's Des Moines up to that island. We've seen many teams make this play over the course of the tournament. Over here at the A-Cap, we've got... it's going to be double Kleber versus Harugumo and Shimakaze here. Gunfights breaking out all over the map, Zath. This Harugumo's in trouble.
Yeah, Darling pops the brake, pops the smoke, and says, enough, please stop, as both Arturius and Gangbang just engaged French radar. Oh, and Darling pulls out of his smoke, trying to get a little bit of maneuverability, and just as he's settling in, here comes the radar from Lulu Snail's
I was going to say, Lao Pao's Shima was sitting outside that smoke, continuing to spot for Darling, who was getting good damage into Arturius, but now with Lulu's radar coming in, they should be able to bag this kill and then get some damage into the Shimakaze as well.
Darling beaching and offloading his troops, because that's pretty much it for that Gumo. He's down. Now Lao Pao is next.
Radar expires, so Lao's going to sneak away. But certainly not an auspicious start for JZ, losing a destroyer here on the A-flank already.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting seeing Yuhua's Daring going where he ended up going, right? Because he's basically... We saw HXH put I think that was a Vamp Deuce, but same principle.
Same idea.
Hydro-equipped ship on the other side of the island, and that was a great opportunity to do that.
Well,
but
would it have mattered?
They didn't want to take it.
It doesn't matter. Daring's hydro was only 3 kilometers, so by taking a Daring, you can't make that position work because it's about 3.5 kilometers to the other side of that island from there. So you need the Vampire Deuce's 5-kilometer hydro to pull that off.
Yep, you're right. I'm looking at it right now. Maybe at the very tip. Otherwise, yeah, it's not helpful. Good point.
So Wanzi's Kleber bags C. Both teams ticking up a cap now. A 100-point lead for Rain on the strength of that early kill. Not even quite 5 minutes gone, but man, the shells have been flying already.
Absolutely. Now, I'll tell you what, if you're that Kremlin, if you're Langwo, you're thinking, all right, where am I going to go? He's kind of just dropping anchor right now. I'm interested to see what he's thinking.
Yeah, we kind of got busy. I didn't actually look at Langwo's Kremlin build. Let's have a quick peek. Most survivability, although he is running Brisk back there. Okay. Rain sending a tremendous amount of force to A, and it pays off. They pick up A. Now trying to focus out Yuha's daring as the conga line torpedoes start to arrive on Hexagen, but he should be able to move up just a hair and dodge those handily.
Yeah, nice attempt with those torpedoes. I do like their spacing. It makes Hexagen think that he's safe. He's even backing up already, but he's counting. 1, 2.
I was going to say, I like the spacing, but I feel like maybe he should have spaced them out even a little further than that, right?
Agreed.
Maybe more like 10 to 12 seconds apart. Really mess with the Ragnar's timing there.
Agreed, but I'll tell you, when you're on radar and everybody's shooting at you...
Oh, I know. I'm aware.
Totally get it.
I get it. So now, the double Kleber team of Gangbrang and Artorias looks like they're going to rotate towards the middle of the map. Rain knows they've got more or less lock-solid control of the A-cap, at least in the short term. And so now they're going to go make a play over at B.
Where did these torpedoes come from?
So Onesi's Kleber moved up.
Okay, yeah.
You're talking about the torpedoes on Hexagen, right?
Yeah.
So that little gap off to his port bow right here along the 6-7 line, Onesi's Kleber moved right up into that gap, fired the torpedoes, and then just kept running.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
It was a very clever maneuver. I watched him do it. I wasn't sure the torpedoes were going to be impactful, but they probably made Hexagen a little nervous there, I'm betting.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
They're trying to trap real ship Shady way up in the corner of the map. Server Hoppers
do it.
Well, they are. Server Hoppers Ohio is rotating back to kind of give Yiku's Napoli something to think about. Not really landing any notable shells there.
Yeah, give him time.
Still plenty of time in the game. We're only 7 minutes in. Jay-Z down a ship, but continuing to aggressively push up the 9-10 line. Looking for a way into the B cap.
Yeah, Kremlin was detected on Lulu Snell's radar just now. So, okay, they know where he is. They know how he's oriented. It's interesting. I would have thought at a certain point, Jay-Z needs to counter push back into A.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see him kind of being this complacent isn't the word I want to use, but it's the best one I can come up with on short notice, right? It feels like the Kremlin is kind of wasted at the moment. You could almost make that case for Malamu, but he's at least playing defense, right? While he's here, his team is ticking up points. The Kremlin, though, doesn't feel that way. Maybe waiting for Lulu to poke his head out again?
Ship Shady, by the way, just got smacked by, I think that was the Ohio that was pushing through C right now. He's forced to make Inky, play on the border, all that stuff.
Shady's definitely going to go down. It's simply a question of how long it takes and what he can, how much he can do along the way. He's going to sail right into these Kleber torpedoes. What a beautiful salvo. Oh, my goodness.
That just doesn't have the legs.
That just doesn't have the legs. They die meters from his hull. All skill, no luck, ladies and gentlemen. Yuhao's definitely, his daring has been just hammered at B. He really can't take the risk of moving back up again. Rain mostly playing for kind of just a holding action at B. I was expecting Artorias and Gangbarang to make a play for the cap, but they haven't. They're on the north side of it.
They don't exactly need it. I think they want to see what's going to happen with the Napoli duel up there to the north.
I'll say, look at this. We're having a fight in A10, Zath.
Yep.
This is how far they've suckered these ships out of position.
Well, I mean, the other thing too, I think, is knowing that the Kremlin isn't really pushing. They kind of have time.
Well, he is. He's kind of pushing stern first now. Check it out. This is the strangest thing I've ever seen a Kremlin do.
He's reversing. As Ship Shady does finally take a torpedo.
He's reversing into the cap, which is a little bizarre, to put it lightly. Lulu sneaks out to dump some conga line torps, but the stern turret is looking. Lulu gets hammered.
And Ship Shady finally goes down in the exact corner, absolute corner of the map.
Wow.
Talk about painting yourself into a corner.
Lulu moves up and pays the price as now Lao Pao's Shimacaught on Brisbane radar. Have to try and get out of there and see what he can salvage from a health perspective. Beautiful cross torps on Lang Wo, though. Check this out.
Yep, a couple of gearing torpedoes hitting. Three, actually.
Three gearing torpedoes as the conga line torpedoes from the Daring crawl up his stern. He's going to take them. He's going to take
That'll
two and
take
go
it.
out. Wow.
Wow.
Sorry, I say Daring. I meant Brisbane. That was Lulu's torpedoes.
That was, and that's the strength of that Brizzy there.
Wow. Brilliant.
Fantastic play.
Brilliant coordination from Rain.
And just so many questions from JZ.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, I've never seen a Kremlin used that way before. That was very awkward, to put it lightly.
Just moonwalking his way to A.
Yeah, just taking his time. Like, we're just going to get there when we get there, baby.
Well, the far extreme northeast flank is now starting to rotate and get into this. But with the loss of the Kremlin at A,
watch Madara.
Yeah, I see them, the single fire torps.
Madara is having to make some kind of last second maneuvers here as the conga line torps come in.
Nope, he'll be okay. There's no hydro on either of them. Oh, Bastiff. He keeps backing up here. Nope. That first one wore him off.
Oh, very, very close. As Lulu bags another kill with the torpedoes on the Shimakaze. The power of the Brisbane torpedoes seen again here in King of the Sea 15.
Yeah, what a crazy torp salvo. Outstanding. So at this point, if you are, and there's the replay of that. If you are JZ, how do you get back into this, Raptor?
I'm not sure you can. I mean, if the Kremlin had an impactful salvo or two on his way off the board and maybe managed to chunk somebody down, sure. But now there is literally nothing to stop Malamu and Lulu from just wrapping the B cap and crushing out the JZ forces that are still around it. It's interesting to me to see that Rain has basically just played for a holding action. A stalemate is all they ever wanted it be, right? They had a ship lead, they had a points lead. They didn't overreach at B. They just said, look, all we got to do, we got to keep them off B. It doesn't matter if we get it, we just have to make sure that they don't. And they've been content with that thus far.
Well, they're playing Stratagema, Raptor.
Well, and they're winning so far anyway.
They're winning by trying not to win.
That's exactly right. Ohio salvo going downrange on Pulos Stalingrad, who seems to be the next pick target as he's getting focused by all three destroyers on the north side of the B cap.
Yeah. Like, those shells are nice, but he's dying anyway.
He's going to go out here. He certainly got dunked by the Ohio. The destroyer shells continuing to fall, and there he goes.
Yep. Nuome is next. Burgon finally making the push. Look at him going around. He's got the broadside of this Des Moines now.
Yeah.
Here comes the hate.
Nuome got hammered a minute ago. They do lose Artorias, but there goes Nuome as Gangbarang charges into B. The Piranha's kind of descending now. Rain, knowing they have a ship advantage and a cap lead, they can afford to take a few more risks that they might not have taken 5 or 6 minutes ago.
That's right.
In fact, I think Gangbarang is just going to flat out charge Yuhua's Daring and finish him off.
They have taken the field, and now they will take their spirit. Seems today.
Seems that way. Something to see them driven before you in the Lamentations of the Women, Zath?
We're about to see much Lamentations.
We're going to see some more Lamentations before this game is over, I'm afraid. Oh, just Gangbarang, just like, I'm just going to drive up here and execute you. It's just like no big deal at this point. Wow.
You notice he didn't even bother turning.
No, he just kept on going. Just kept on going. Well, it's all over but the crying here. Jay-Z's going to lose game 2 as well. But I mean, Zath, they're up against one of the most experienced competitive teams in competitive warships today, right? Rain has been around forever. They're a former EU champion. They're the current EU second place. They're an excellent team. Even though Jay-Z's going to lose both of these games, you can't, I mean, if I'm them, I'm not upset with my performance, right?
Come on, it's their first time playing on the international stage like this. I mean, yeah.
And
they've done a great showing for themselves.
They have, and I think it's noteworthy that we've talked many times about how the different servers each played differently. I was actually fielding some questions in my chat earlier about this. Somebody was asking me, like, why does it feel like that the NA teams never perform as well as at international? And I said, well, you have to remember the international meta is a global thing, and Each server is a little different. They're going to punch out
Yep.
Madara here, I think. No, the Ohio salvo can't quite make
Nope.
it. And I think that, like we were saying, this is Jay-Z's first time to kind of get exposed to it. I think they're showing up playing their game, and they're playing it well, and they're just meeting some folks who have a little more experience.
Absolutely right. These guys have done their homework. They've got their experience, as you mentioned, and they're here to fight. They're here to win. So we'll see how Rain and Jay-Z does for the rest of the day. But I'll tell you, both teams looking pretty strong.
Yep, agreed. And if nothing else, I love the aggression, right? I love teams that show up like ready to fight. Like, we're here to fight. Let's fight. Let's not just stare at each other across a cap circle. So that makes the game more fun.
That goes back to my comment about Stalingrad before, right? It feels like that more static meta where Stalingrad was so important.
It's going away.
Kind of going away.
Yeah, it's going away. All right, well, let's throw it back to the studio, guys. We'll see you again for the next series shortly.
We're talking again.